Hello, hello, we have a game. Let's go d4 again. I lost the last game. It was an IMSO Indian and it wasn't pretty. I lost pretty terribly. So as I don't play my tournament repertoire anymore in training games, I'll play the London because I want to. Okay, 2302, we lost, wow. I don't think I've ever faced this move. Ever. What's the point? I don't know, g5 doesn't work, so let's just occupy the e5 square, the newly created weakness. If bishop d3, I'm still preventing knight h5, so my opponent is playing a sort of Stonewall. I'll allow knight h5, I don't care if my opponent wishes to do so. This is my bad bishop anyway. So do I play with c4 or do I play without c4? If I go c4, then bishop b4, knight c3, knight e4, rook c1 seems okay. Okay, my opponent is playing the Stonewall, so what can we say about that? I don't think I've faced... Well, offering a trade of dark squared bishops is a bad idea, strategically, because my opponent's dark squares are weak, so now there are fewer defenders of the dark squares. So my opponent wants to do this, transfer the bishop outside of this box. They would also like to play e5, so I'm gonna have to play against e5 somehow. If knight d7, let's say bishop e2, knight d7, castles, e5 takes, okay, that works. The reason I'm not playing bishop d3 is so that I don't run into knight e4, and if I take, I don't have to move my bishop again. Rook c1 is just a useful move if I ever want to take on d5. Generally, in the Stonewall, if you manage to trade dark squared bishops, your position is great. My opponent's gonna go g5. I can see that, but for now I can take and take. Is that scary? I don't think so. So I'll castle. I have a pretty good score against the Stonewall. Okay, my opponent wants to play g5 and prepares it. So, let's chase that knight away. Let's go knight e1 or knight d2 and play f3. That way I'm opening up the diagonal for my bishop as well. And I can play bishop h5, or if the bishop moves I can play queen h5. I don't see an attack happening. If g5, bishop h5 seems very scary for my opponent. If h5, I can just take it. If rook g8, I can play f3. Yeah, I don't believe in this. I don't think the Stonewall against the London is a good idea. It doesn't seem good. As Ben Feingold would say, there's good, there's not good. This is not good. I love my position. My opponent's a bishop and the rook down, technically, before the bishop on c8 moves away. So, okay, castles. That means there will be no g5. So now it's time to start attacking. So if I go f3, my opponent plays knight g5. f3, knight g5. I could go queen c2 and prepare e4. I like that. I'm gonna do that. I don't think anything's happening here. I don't see an attack. If the other knight comes out to f6, that's not gonna mean much. My opponent still wants to play e5, so probably the knight goes back to f6. I mean, I don't see a bright future for the knight on g5. Because knight g5, queen c2, I will play e4. It's unstoppable. Yeah, last game I lost. It was pretty ugly. I'm still recovering from that game. The more pieces we trade, the more apparent the weakness of the c8 bishop becomes. For a moment there I was thinking my opponent's gonna go knight g3, but that really makes no sense. Because I have queen e1 in the end. I don't know, I'm not too convinced. Okay, I'll take with the rook. No need to ruin my structure. If e5, I'm gonna take it anyway. I can also consider taking on d5 first. e5, cd5, ed4, ed4. If queen d5, then bishop c4. So cd. Yeah, I'm not gonna take on d5. There's no need for that. e5 opens up this diagonal. It's gonna be pretty scary once it opens. Because there will be bishop c4, there will be queen b3. I have a really small wooden chair. Because the chair I used to use is creaky. I don't know if that's a word. And I don't know how to fix that. I should probably get some sort of grease or something. Okay, where's this knight going? Well, it's not going to e4. So if I go queen c2, e5 takes, queen takes. I don't like that. I like queen c2. And on e5, I think I'll take and go rook fd1. Oh, although then there is d4. And if takes, queen d4 is check. And on king h1, there's queen f2. I'm gonna have to be careful. So on e5, takes on d5. Wow. Okay. Okay, the point being that my d-pawn is weak. Okay, let's go rook d1. If fe, then rook e, and on queen f4 I have queen d3. And now, if my opponent doesn't do anything, then I go e4, and on d4 I take with the knight, and then the rook defends d4. Did I just pre-move something? There's a ton of tension in the center. So e5. So two candidate moves for my opponent fe3 and e5. Oh, there are so many moves here. So what if I just trade everything? So d5, queen e5, ef4, queen f4. In some lines there's bishop f5, and that worries me slightly. So d5, queen e5. Can I throw in e4? d4, knight e4, no. Okay, I think I take once, because I want to avoid additional problems. And now my e3 pawn is hanging, and bishop f5 is coming. So I either take on f4, or I take on d5. Yeah, I'm gonna take on f4. I don't want to deal with this pawn coming to e3. Oh, I hung my bishop? I hung my bishop. Oh, Jesus. What? I didn't even see that my bishop was hanging. I didn't see that. My bishop is just... I just hung my bishop. What the hell did I just do? Yeah, I just hung my bishop. For no reason. Okay, I should resign, but I'll keep fighting. Why did I hang my bishop? I didn't even see that ef4 loses the bishop. Oh, no. Why do I see that a move after I make the move? What's wrong with me? Yeah, just take the bishop. The bishop is hanging. Why did I do that? He didn't take the bishop? What? Why not? I'm confused, but happy, because I didn't lose my bishop. What? Did I miss something? I don't get it. The bishop was just... You could just take the bishop. This is now the same position, but my bishop's still on the board. Okay. Whew, got away with one there. I'm still confused, but okay. Let's calm down. What? I just hung my bishop. Calm down. Okay, let's take the pawn. Nothing's hanging now. Bishop f5, I have bishop d3. Knight d5, I have bishop c4. Okay. All right. I was planning to take this, but maybe I don't take it. Maybe I just go rook e1. Rook e1 if knight c3, I take on e6 first. Rook e1 if knight e3, I take it. Rook e1. Why didn't my opponent take the bishop? I'm still confused. I'm playing rook e1. Don't hang anything again, please. Don't hang anything. I hung my bishop in a single move and my opponent did not take it. Very confusing. I'm looking at rook d3 and trying to make it work, but I cannot make it work. So it seems like I'm gonna have to take on d5. But taking on d5 seems pretty bad. So rook d3. If knight b4, then bishop e6 check. Rook e6, and I'm looking at queen b3, and that seems to work. So rook d3. Well, there's bishop f7. The problem is that my rook's hanging on e1. So the best thing I can see is bishop d5, queen c1, defending the rook. But then there's... yeah, maybe there's nothing. So either rook d3 or bishop d5. Let's go over rook d3 again. Rook d3. I'm afraid of bishop f7, and I don't think my idea works. So yeah, I'm just taking, and I'll go for queen c1. I don't see anything better. My back rank is weak, my minor piece is worse. I managed to mess this position up terribly. And I should be happy because I hung a full bishop and my opponent just didn't take it. So I should consider myself lucky. However weird that may sound in a bad position like this one. For now, all of my pieces are defended. It seems ugly, but everything's defended. I don't think bishop a2 can be taken, by the way, because of b3. EF4 was so bad. Okay, get over it. Stop thinking about that. Think about the current position. I need to challenge the E file. And in order to do that, I'm looking at knight f1, followed by rook e3. And if that's the best I have, then I'm gonna do it, but I would love to do something that doesn't trade all the pieces, because I don't want to draw. I'm higher rated. So okay, knight f1. My opponent takes the queen, probably. Knight f1, queen c1, rook cc1, rook e8, takes. Yeah, and my opponent's coming into the second rank. That's no good. That's no good. But if I reverse the move order, if I take on e5 and then queen e5, and then knight f1. Then rook e8 fails to rook e3. Okay, I'm gonna do that. That seems more promising. Now I have rook e3. Even if my opponent plays rook e8 and I've prevented an infiltration, and if queen e2, I also have rook e3. I still don't think a2 is hanging, so I'm not gonna worry about that. If queen e2, rook e3, queen f2, well, I can trade. This isn't looking good, but I think I'll manage not to lose. Also, it's good that my rook is covering f3, because rook f3 is looking very scary. Okay. Let's finally challenge the e-file. Play queen f4, you can do it. Okay. I guess I should save my pawns now. I want to play h3 at some point, but still feels dangerous to do so. After b3, there's no bishop c4 in the future. If the rook comes to d1, then the bishop cannot come to c4 after king g1, winning my knight. So b3 not only saves the pawn, but seems useful to prevent bishop c4. My next move is going to be queen e1, probably regardless of what my opponent plays. So queen e1, my opponent's planning to go queen d2. So probably queen e1 makes very little sense. So do I go rook e1, preventing queen d1? I don't want to go rook e1. Wait a minute. What if I go rook e7? Rook e7, queen d1. Queen d1, rook d1, king g1. I have to watch out for bishop g6, bishop d3. Other than that, my opponent would have to play rook a1 to pick up the a pawn. And then when I play rook b7, then rook a2, then rook c6. Seems like a draw. Although rook e7 does seem terribly scary, allowing queen f2 and stuff like that. But on the other hand, I don't see a point to queen e1. So rook e7, queen d1, rook d1, king g2, rook a1, rook b7, rook a2, rook c7, probably bishop b3. Then my opponent has an outside passed pawn defended by the bishop. I cannot trade everything. I may be losing. I could play rook e1 against queen d1, but that doesn't work either. I could play queen e1 and on queen d1 play queen f2, and on queen somewhere on the second rank I could play rook e1. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna do that. I'm not trading pieces because I'm gonna lose. I'm expecting queen d1. That's the only move that makes sense to me. So queen d1, queen f2. Let's say queen c1, rook e1. Seems promising. I don't think rook e7 was a good idea. Okay. So now I don't play queen f2 because my opponent has rook e7 and I have no checks. So I'm gonna play h3. Just give myself some luft. Now I finally have the option to go knight g3, although that seems awfully scary. Good idea, good idea. My opponent wants to play bishop c2 and something to d1. But I have to start moving my pieces out. If bishop c2, I'm going to throw in a check on e8. Now my king can come out to h2, maybe. And my knight isn't on f1 anymore. Why am I down to 30 seconds? Come on. I don't want to play king h2 unless I have to, pinning my own knight to queen d6, but I may have no choice. Now it looks pretty equal, because if my opponent doesn't play bishop c2, then I have knight e4, and that seems equal. Okay, my opponent wants to play rook d2, so let's not allow that. Okay. So is it time for knight e4? The bishop is much better than the knight, so I'm gonna play it, and I'm also down to 20 seconds, so I want to get rid of that bishop. Rook e7 doesn't work, I can play knight f6 check. I've prevented bishop c2, and that's good. So maybe nothing's gonna come to d1 after all. Okay, rook e7 still doesn't work, there is knight g5. How do I improve my pieces? How do I improve my pieces? Can I go queen g3, queen d3, queen f4 check? I'm not sure. Jesus, what do I do? I don't know what I just did. I don't know why I played this, but I did. I have rook e1 if queen d1 check. I also have queen e1. On rook e7 now I have knight d6 check. And the king has to go to f8. And I'm not sure about that position, but I think I can take on b7. I played queen g3 to play queen f4, but... Okay, my opponent wants to go rook d1. I can see that. But I have a couple of checks first. If rook d1, queen f4 check prevents mate, the king has to go... I don't want to lose my a pawn, so I played this. Yeah, this is likely going to be a draw. But there's nothing we can do about that. So, you know, we have to draw. I may still lose. Ooh, this is a nice move. Takes, king g1. I'm not good enough to figure this out. Takes, king g1, king e5, g3. I think I can take. Oh, I just lost. Oh no, 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 no. Is there any hope? Well, let's try. I mean, I'm losing, so I may as well try. Oh, of course, this is just a losing position. If my pawns were here, I think it's a win for me, but they aren't, so... I need to try and save at least a couple of my pawns. But yeah, this is now just Zugzwang. I'm resigning. No. Okay. If you're looking for a more effective way to learn openings, try out Chessbook. It's a great tool for studying openings. It's very easy to use. It focuses on moves that people actually play. It explains the plans in certain positions, and it's going to highlight the mistakes you made in your games. So once you connect your Lichess and chess.com accounts, it's going to focus on the mistakes you actually make. So you're going to be able to work on what matters most. You can import your repertoire either by hand or by, you know, importing a PGN. So that's easy. Let's say save my progress. And you can then practice those moves. So if you go to, let's say, your black repertoire, you can see that mine is 89% complete. You can press import and you can use any of the PGNs I've prepared. You can find a bunch of them in the link description, in the description below. So import the repertoire and then you can start practicing it. So for example, if we go d4, d5, You can also have a bunch of pre-made repertoires from this position, and some of them are mine. I have created a Queen's Gambit declined opening repertoire for black, so you can start with that. I have created an e4, e5 full repertoire for black, and I have created the London system repertoire for white, and you can access them through Chessbook easily. So once again, once you connect your Lichess and Chess.com accounts, you're going to be able to correct your opening mistakes. So for example, in this case, I play h6 in the tile, and let's see what mistake I'd made. So in this position, you played e6, play the correct move on the board. Wait, what's the move? I think I should go bishop e4. No? And here, this is a good example. I don't know. I don't know. Show me the answer. Queen e6 check. Yes. Okay. Damn. So you see what I'm talking about. I made the mistake in the game, and then once again, when I was reviewing it on Chessbook, I didn't know what to do. You can also practice all the moves in your repertoire, which is obviously one of the most useful things you can do. You can play through model games in your openings. You're going to get served games daily, and you can view performance by opening, which will be there once you complete your repertoire. Check out Chessbook by following the link in the description below. It's only $8 a month, even less if you pay yearly, and I hope you like it. Okay, let's be happy that my opponent didn't take a free bishop, but let's be unhappy that this is probably the worst game I played in, I don't know, a year. Okay, let's have a look. I don't know why I hung my bishop. So +1 out of the opening. Let's see where I had gone wrong. All of this seems fine. +1. f3 was bad. Instead of f3 I should have taken on e4, but okay. Yeah, I allowed a ton of play, and then I hung my bishop for no reason. And then I'm worse, which I knew, but instead of knight f1 I should have gone a3. Okay, my opponent could have taken. That's weird. Draw, draw, draw. Rook e7 was best. Oh, I was winning a rook. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh yeah, rook b4 was very bad. Wait, this endgame is so busted? Oh yeah, why am I so bad? This is extremely bad. What am I... What was I even thinking? Okay, yeah, I had no more time on the clock. It's still losing even if I don't trade rooks. That much I saw. I couldn't figure out the pawn endgame, so I went for that. Oh, congratulations to my opponent. I mean, this was an awful game. I missed that I could win a rook, and I hung my bishop. But there are going to be more awful games. So what can we do? Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.